Hey friends, Julia Lachey here. You are tuning into another phenomenal episode of the Color of Money podcast. However, this time you are tuning into a live recording that was captured at the 2025 KW Family Reunion. Family Reunion is an annual convention that we have once a year where all of our KW associates come together to learn and grow. At Keller Williams Family Reunion, we also hold a special event called the KWBREN Fest. That's the KW Black Real Estate Network Fest. And at the KWBREN Fest at KW Family Reunion, we did a live recording of the Color of Money podcast with Wright and with Gabby Davis. Check it out.
Okay, I'm Bowman Keaty, and it's been just a privilege to be part of this podcast with this group. I think that the conversation around wealth, around creating wealth, around maintaining wealth, around intergenerational wealth is so powerful. And so I've been really blessed to be with this group that constantly keeps me on my toes and keeps me thinking. I've had the privilege of being part of Keller Williams now for 20 years, or as to make it, not to date myself, but 2 decades, I guess. And I started under the tutelage of a good Emmerich piece, and it's been quite a journey. So I'm thankful to be with you all today.
Y'all can come ahead. Bo, can you tell us what you do, who you are, what you own?
What do I do? Well, I was a real estate agent. I started out as a part-time real estate agent, so didn't start out any different than anybody else in this room. Sold 6 houses in my first little couple of months. Since then, built a real estate team that operates out of the DMV. Owns something called Keller Williams Capital Properties, which is 5 market centers. We got some great KWCP folks in the audience. We have about 1,000 real estate agents from Baltimore down through Fredericksburg, Virginia, and then also have been involved in the ownership and leadership of the Maryland, D.C. region, the Virginia, West Virginia region, and the greater Heartland region in Keller Williams. And we also have a development company that's built about 3.5 million square feet of mixed-use projects and has about $2 billion worth of development in its pipeline. So it's been a journey over 20 years. We haven't been sitting still. But we learned a lot as we've made mistakes along the way, so it's been fun.
My name is Emmerich Peace. I am an operating partner at Keller Williams. Our market center has been in existence for 20 years. I call the market center a mission. It's a mission of love, and it's a lot of headache, heartache, and it's worth it all because my market center is 98% black. We have over 200, we have 570 agents under one roof. And I believe that classifies us as the largest single office black brokerage in the country. I don't know if another one bigger. Bo's got more agents, Bo's got more money. I'm working on it. And so, this is all about us. It's a labor of love for us. And I'm just excited to be in this group of phenomenal people on the Color Money podcast.
I'm Daniel Dixon. I am the shortest and possibly the lightest one on this stage. What you think, Bo? What you think? Emmerich likes to call us the exotic ones. So that is us. I'm originally from SoCal. I live in Denver now. And we've done a lot of things. And I think the biggest reason I wanted to do this and share the love and share the knowledge with this podcast was I would be in these rooms. We created an incredible business right away once I became a licensed real estate agent, and we sold a lot of houses. And I got invited to these rooms, and I'd be in these rooms, and I'd be like, damn, none of these people look like me. Like, this is uncomfortable for me. Like, I got to put on my face and I got to go meet people, and like I didn't really enjoy that. And so I thought that I was blessed early in my career to meet my coach, who taught me a lot of the shortcuts and a lot of the ways of doing business and how to build a successful business so fast. And I said, what if we started talking about the things that I've learned inside those rooms that usually you don't learn until you get inside of those rooms? So what if we just started talking about that? What if we started sharing the ideas and communicating the strategies and doing the things to really be able to build and grow our community? So I appreciate all you guys. I see a lot of friendly faces, a lot of new faces, and I'm just excited to be here.
Okay, all right, Dan.
All right, Mr. Hall of Fame, stop it. I'm talking still.
Stop it. Why don't you tell people what your numbers look like, what your sales numbers are? Because you being bad. Let's be real. Let's be real. What do your sales numbers look like?
So we've sold. I've been a real estate agent for about a decade. We've sold and originated over $1 billion in real estate and loans originated. We do. Thank you. We do a lot of my niche. My thing is internet lead generation. I'm not the sphere-based agent. I'm not the people that work with people I know and love and trust. Honestly, I'd rather not. We've all been in the transactions where we deal with the people where we're like, man, if I could just cut you off, like, I swear to God. So I used to work at Zillow, so we do a lot of internet lead, like 92% of our business is internet lead generation, internet lead conversion. I think that in the world that we're in today, I think that's super important because all of our spheres are drying up. We've got to have another arm. We've got to have another thing. So anyway, over $1 billion, sir. And we have a lot of ancillaries and a lot of things. Like we figured out a lot of things in the industry really fast, and we grew really fast. And I just want to share. Like I'm really big now at this phase of my life. I'm almost 40.
Wow. Don't do us, Daniel.
Guys, I'm almost there.
Don't do us.
I'm almost there. I'm at that second phase of my life, and I truly, you guys, like all jokes aside, I want to share. I want to encourage. I want to just share knowledge. I want everybody else to grow, succeed, achieve. Obviously, in our community first, but I want people like the problem we have in our industry is people just not doing the work, and I just do the damn work. Like, this shit is not that hard. You do the same shit day in and day out, like, y'all will have an incredible amount of success. So I want to share the successes, share the shortcuts, share the things. Those of you that I've met in this room and y'all send me DMs or we do this, I'm going to try to start doing like an internet lead generation thing once a month. Like, I want to build humans to achieve and like do the actual work. This shit is not that hard if y'all stay consistent and continue to do this shit.
They're going to have to keep editing you if you keep cussing.
Say again?
They're going to have to keep editing you.
Did you hear what Robin said 2 days ago?
I don't think Robin is on the editing team for KWBREN.
I will live longer if I curse. She said it at the CEO event, Julia.
At the CEO summit, there was a doctor that talked about resilience, and she recommended cussing. And what was the other thing?
And now that Daniel's 40, he's starting to worry about his longevity, so he's working it in. He's working in
100%.
Well, to set the stage for the remaining of this conversation, we're going to talk about breaking barriers. We have some very fascinating and interesting people who have done that. Many of you have done that. Before we get started, in any environment where all of you are present, I always have to give homage to Unc. We call him Unc now that he turned 60. Uncle Emmerich and Bo. Y'all going to tell me exactly how many years ago it was. I tell this story all the time.
Well, we did the first one was 10 years.
The first BREN was 10 years ago, and Bo and Emmerich stood up and did the 4 quadrants, and I had never seen this level of success before. Like, Emmerich just shared with you all that there's almost 600 agents in his office, and Bo just shared with you that he owns a region, and I had never seen anything like that, and so it was incredibly inspirational for me. I think at the time, I don't remember what role I had. I too have been with KW for 20 years and had a whole bunch of them. I don't remember what role I had at the time, but I never envisioned that. And so I appreciate you all, because now I too am an OP, but I would have never seen that for myself had I not seen them, right? So that's how this all started, yes. Yeah. And so I got off of track a little bit, but with that being said, again, talking about Black History Month and where we're at with the current state of everything, understanding the importance of now, right? And the importance of breaking the barriers. Earlier today, and Gabby's going to be one of our panelists, earlier today, the Atlanta West Market Center won an award for it's called a home run launch award. They are the fastest growing brokerage in the entire organization, okay? Yeah. That's what breaking barriers means, and that means that, and we need to see Gabby, and we need to see Emrick and Bo, so that we all know that it's very possible for us. So, Bo, can you just tell us specifically in regards to generational wealth, how do we use real estate as a tool?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because we are quick. I mean, this wealth building conversation is kind of blown up in like people's attention and in social media, especially over the last 5 or 7 years. Like 10 years ago when I was talking about wealth building, I was by myself. Now everybody's a wealth building expert. But people like to talk about intergenerational wealth. It's like a buzz line that's getting thrown out there. And I think real estate provides us two great opportunities, but we have to understand the difference between them. And that's one of my appeals to all of you guys. Real estate provides the real estate brokerage business, the opportunity to be a real estate agent or to own a business in the real estate brokerage space, is one of the most amazing ways to earn income. Being a real estate agent is one of the best opportunities in this country with a very high ceiling. But make no doubt about it, there's a ceiling on it, but it's a very high ceiling for what your earnings can be. And those who have the initiative, the drive, the pluck to figure it out and go make it happen can reap the benefits of that hard work. However, if we really want to talk about intergenerational wealth, what we're up against is centuries of disintermediation from wealth creation. Not like jobs and paychecks and bonuses and commission checks. We're up against centuries of systemic wealth eradication in our community. And that doesn't get built unless you get into the second piece, which is actually owning and controlling real estate. So we get to sit in both of these, and we get really excited, and we live in an environment that gives us a lot of awards for the first one, but nobody has a lot of ideas about the second one. We talk about how many doors or how many this and how many streams, but the real issue is like, what do we actually control? What do we actually own and control? And so I encourage you to think about real estate from both of those components. For my journey has been very much about that. It was the ability to do a lot of things we've done happened because we had a cash flow business and an asset-based business. So I'd ask all of you to think about, as you build your careers and your lives, what's your cash flow business? Where do you earn an income? And what's your asset-based business? And how are you building and protecting that asset-based business that when you're making good money in your income can seem like it's too small? I hear people say all the time, I don't want to go through the work of owning a rental property to make $150 a month. I can tell you that $150 a month you make is worth a whole hell of a lot more than that commission, that $10,000 commission you got over time. And so that's just something for us to think about. If we really want to talk about intergenerational wealth, we've got to have an intergenerational mindset. We can't have a now mindset out here talking about intergenerational wealth.
Thank you. That's a good answer. Emrick, in 60 seconds or less. But first, let me say, we had a big day, y'all. You know what else happened earlier today? Earlier today at that same award ceremony, Emrick was awarded Award of Excellence, they called it. Yeah. Award of Excellence. Yeah. For his leadership and his ability to engage people and to create these spaces for everyone. And so my quick question, 60 seconds or less. I like to stay on time.
That won't work. That won't work. Uncle's never under 60 seconds.
Tell us a little bit about what does inclusive leadership look like?
Inclusive leadership, first off, you have to have a me-second attitude when it comes to being a leader. And in that space of it, and I say that because when you talk about inclusive leadership, you have to be willing to sometimes acquiesce with your thoughts, what your feelings are of what you really want to do. And you have to think about the people around you and how does it impact them And then in that space, you have to give them power. You have to empower them to make the decisions based on the vision that you set forth. And that's the reason why you have people around you. As a leader, you set the vision. When you set the vision as a leader, you include the people around you in that vision, and then you empower them to execute your vision. And if you've communicated well and you've articulated what your vision is at a high level, everything will work itself out. And if you haven't, it won't work itself out. So let me make this clear to y'all. I have not always been clear in my vision. And when I wasn't clear in my vision, that means I had to do some more damn work. So if you're going to be an inclusive leader, make sure that you articulate your vision, make sure you have the right people to execute the vision, make sure you empower them to execute the vision and do the things, and if you don't, you're going to get the job back. And that ain't no fun.
Thank you. Now, Daniel, I wrote a question that I showed you, but that's not what I'm going to ask you. Daniel, I believe, is the king of ancillary businesses, right? Daniel is the how do I get paid 7 ways in 1 transaction guy. Yeah, and so my question initially was, how does your entrepreneurship and your role as a broker owner, OP, contribute to wealth? But can you just talk quickly, 60 seconds or less, about what we should be doing to make sure we're not just going around the monopoly board collecting the $200, collecting our commissions, and then that's it and leaving money on the table. Talk a little bit about that. 60 seconds.
So everybody should, if you're taking notes on your phone or writing things down, write this down. Go to your lender and tell your lender to pay you money every month. It's that simple, right? Like I have a mortgage license. We generate revenue from our mortgage transactions. Real estate agents make this entire industry go. We prospect. Inspectors don't prospect. Appraisers don't prospect. Lenders don't prospect. Go get your fair share. And it doesn't have to be a ridiculous amount of money per month, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to send you business, we are partners, and I expect you to help me continue to build my business. Now, what that is in relation to how much money you spend to grow your business every month. But just that in general, just that in and of itself should generate you $500 to $1,000 a month in revenue. Then you have, hold on, Unc. Hold on, I have 60 seconds, Unc. Title is a whole nother opportunity. Your inspectors being able to share marketing revenue or being able to sponsor events. Your designers or your stagers or your whoever is involved. If you think about how many people are involved in one side of a transaction and how much money each one of those people get paid, go through that exercise.
All right, I want to make sure we leave enough time for our two guests. And so what's going to happen next is Bo is going to interview a guest that I brought all the way from Minneapolis. And he didn't come just because it's negative 10 degrees and negative 50 wind chill today. He came because he has something to share with us. He is a wealth building guru, I would call it, and he's got some information to share. So Bo is going to introduce us to Corey. And then after that, Uncle Emmerich is the 2 award winners of the day are going to have a conversation. Uncle Emmerich is going to interview Gabby as well. And so Daniel and I are going to step down so you all can have these seats. And then we'll go from there. Y'all got the questions I wrote for you?
Yeah. No, ma'am.
I might have forgot them. But
I just have one thing to say. I want all of y'all to know that we come in all sizes, shape, colors, and shades. Y'all do understand that, right?
Nah, that's not how you explained it to me and Bo.
Well,
exactly.
let me help y'all. Yeah, Corey is black. Just so you understand.
Another exotic brother.
Another exotic brother.
Exotic brother.
Come on up here, Corey. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all do your thing.
Am I going down?
Where you want me to go? Right here. All right, actually, let's stand up, Corey.
Hey, look like this crowd got up here a little lighter now, huh?
They always call me an exotic brother. We had to go a little more exotic, okay? It's all good.
Hey, don't let the long hair, blue eyes fool you. Come on now.
So Corey Wright He's done over 200 flips. He's renovated over 200 homes. He specializes in luxury renovations. He's been using his flips and his luxury renovations to fund a rental portfolio. And he leads something called the Legacy Wealth Group, which is a thriving community of people who come together to build wealth. We had an opportunity to interview this guy on the podcast, and we were so excited by the conversation that we're like, we got to bring him out to family reunion and have him part of the live presentation here. So thank you. I'm gonna ask you, hey, just tell us a little bit about yourself, just to kick it off, because these people don't know you. So tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got to be where you are today.
First off, it's an honor to be up here. So I want to thank Bo, Julia, Daniel. Let's give a round of applause for them, man. Thank you. This is amazing. Talking about money, that's my favorite topic. And I got two things for y'all. First, look to the person on the left, say, man, you looking good today. Come on. Hey. But now, look to the right. Man, pay me that money you owe me.
Don't leave Julia out.
Pay me that money you owe me. Now, again, my name's Wright. I'm from Minneapolis. I've been in real estate now for over 20 years. 20 years I've been in this game. Yeah, 20 years, yeah. I'm aging backwards, yes, that is correct. But my mom was a real estate agent. But to back up a little bit, my dad is black. He grew up in the projects in Minneapolis, and they tore down his housing project to put in a highway and displaced his whole family. And during that time period, he was lost, and he had to get out of Minneapolis. He ended up going to a school in the middle of South Dakota on a farm. And that's where he met my mom. And my mom comes from a small town in South Dakota. So my background comes from the black side and the white side. And so my superpower right now is knowing that I can get in rooms like this. I can get in rooms where it's full of white folks, black folks, Asian folks, whatever it is, and I can bring people along and I can show them how to create money, how to show them that this game is rigged, and what's the playbook to actually put money in our pocket. And so I've been grinding for 20 years trying to figure this game out, how to really make money. And I'm at the point now where I show people how to make money every single day, how to get that cheat code so that we all can become financially free, no matter who's in the office.
So thank you, Corey. Round of applause. So, Corey, we talked about a couple of things.
Well, you want us to sit down?
I want you to sit down.
You want us to sit down? Okay. They can't see us if we sit down, though. Okay. I was trying to be thoughtful. I was trying to be thoughtful of the people over there.
Hey, I'm just doing what I told. Let's go.
I was trying to give you all so you can see them. But, okay. Cool. So, Corey, tell us a little bit about you got started. You told me a little bit how you got started and how you didn't really have any cash. And you started flipping as a way to make cash. So tell us a little bit about that initial piece, and then later this transition to saying, okay, I gotta set aside some of this money I'm making and start playing on the other side, which is the long term.
So for sake of time, I won't tell you all the stuff I came up, but I was chasing fast cash. So flipping houses was a way to create money. So everyone, you were just talking about it earlier, everyone thinks they're a wealth guru, and we all think, hey, we want to go from point A to point B as quick as possible. We all want to grab that bag, so we go flip houses. So I started flipping houses. The problem is I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any mentors, so I was doing it myself. So I started flipping houses, kept a couple, and I lost all of them in the recession of 08, 09. Lost it all. 7 foreclosures, bankruptcy, credit score 400, old Uncle Sam, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So I was at the dead bottom. When you say, did I have any money? No, I was negative. If I had $10, I really didn't have it. That's how much I was in debt. I had to ask my wife for $50 to put gas in my car so I could go show a house when I was a realtor. It was rough. But you know what? I did not give up. I kept it going. I was like, no matter what, I looked in the mirror, saw myself, and was like, you know what? You are in this situation because of me. I made the decision to buy those houses. I made the decisions not to have a mentor. I made the decision to chase that fast cash. I didn't have the people around me telling me, Corey, don't do that. But you know what? I got back up and I went after it again. And I kept grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and learned the system, learned the playbook. Who's doing it at a high level? Cheat code in life. Who's doing it at a high level? Go follow them and ask them, what are you doing to get there? That's the cheat code. Who do you know who's doing what you want to do at a high level? Get around them and follow them. That's what I did.
And I think just one of the interesting things that we talked about with Corey before was figure out who you want to model, but actually study them. Study them. Don't study their Instagram page. Don't study the little 10 seconds they give from stage. Study what they actually do, who they actually are, what their day looks like, how they spend their time, stuff that you don't see on the surface, because that's where it goes.
You know, social media, right? We all know social media. As entrepreneurs, it's a job requirement. You have to be on there. The problem is we always show Friday night date night. We show our food, we show our wins, we show how many stats we're doing, how many homes we sold. We never show Tuesday night fight night. Wednesday night didn't get approval on my client. Thursday got canceled. You know, got 3 PAs canceled. We don't ever show that. But if you go around what you were just saying, get around the people who are really grinding and really doing something, and they will open up the playbook and show you that it's not just all the fancy stuff. There's substance here.
So take me forward. So now you stuck with it. You started doing bigger and bigger flips. Now you're renovating $1 million homes. You're producing, big checks, right? So what shifted then? What was that next shift in your journey?
So, Unc was talking about sharing stats, right? So my average flip right now, I make about $500,000 per flip. Think about that. Yeah, it got a little quiet in here. That's the possibility. But I take that money and how I create real wealth. Real wealth is not by flipping houses. You will never become wealthy flipping houses. You will never become wealthy just showing people houses and opening doors. The wealth will not come. You will not become wealthy until you're ready to give up money. You have to invest that money and be an owner. You have to get on the ownership side. So I take that 500 grand and I go buy apartment buildings. I buy long-term holds. And like Bo was talking about earlier, I don't want to buy that duplex because it's only going to cash flow $150, $200. That's the wrong way to look at it. You know why banks give me money now to do these $1 million flips? Where my average cost to buy the house I get is over $1 million, and I'm spending $300,000 to $400,000 to $500,000 to fix it up. The banks aren't saying that because they like me. The banks ain't saying that because I got blue eyes and long hair. That's not what the banks are giving me the money. They're giving it to me because I have a baseline of rental properties. I have a baseline of passive income assets that are producing money every single day. And they say, look, Corey, if you mess up on this property, we can go take those assets. So that $150 a month rental that you're making can be an asset to go get money from a bank to do flips.
So I could go so deep here, I won't. I know she's telling me hurry up, but I'm gonna give you 30 seconds here on this because I think this is really important. Because there's a lot of talk. We talk a lot about getting some access to capital. And wherever you are, there's a program about access to capital for our folks, right? But the real issue isn't access to capital. We think like entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs think, what is the opportunity? But America is a finance society. And banks think about, what can I take? So nobody cares about what your idea is and what you can do. They care about, if you mess up, what can I take?
100%.
And the reality is, a lot of you ain't got no stuff for them to take. And part of that's because your daddy didn't give you some stuff that they could take. Okay, and his daddy didn't have some stuff that they could take. So the actual game is to have some stuff that somebody can take so they can give you some money to go do your idea. Okay, shifting a little bit gears here. You have built something called the Legacy Wealth Group, which is a community around wealth. And here at the Color of Money podcast, we're trying to create a community. So talk to me a little bit about the power of community in your journey.
Yeah, so I touched on it earlier, but I realized really quick that one of my gifts is my upbringing, being able to play in both worlds, right? And there was a time in my life where I didn't know who I was. Michael Jackson was big when I was coming up, and that's when his little color was changing, so all the kids used to call me Michael Jackson all the time. And I'd be like, man, for real? And it used to drive me crazy, right? I'm like, man, I ain't Michael. And then I'd look at him, I'd be like, well, he kind of changing a little bit, but I was really struggling with my identity, trying to be like, what is black, right? And I did all the wrong things thinking, what is black? So of course I got into the streets, I got into the drugs, I got into getting arrested, all the dumb stuff that I thought was being black. Because my circle said that's what being black is, right? It wasn't until I got comfortable with myself, my authentic self. You see, I'm up here with long hair, right? That's strategic, because I'm comfortable with who I am. And now all you guys look up here, and I'm shining bright up here. Like, man, who is this dude, right? Because I'm confident in who I am. And because of that, I'm like, let me go start a community, legacy wealth group, where I can show people, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you come from, I don't care about your credit, anything. You can create financial freedom through investing in real estate, investing in stocks, being an owner. And you know what? I'm giving people the playbook every single day, creating wealth every single day. That's what Legacy Wealth Group is about. To create financial freedom for yourself so you can leave a legacy for the next generation. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, every single person that comes into contact with me, when I leave this earth, they will say, you know what? I knew Corey and he affected me. And I was able to create legacy by being around him. That's what Legacy Wealth Group's about.
Wow. All right, Corey, so I want to double down just because it really touches me, this idea of authenticity. So I know when y'all see Corey, you hear him talk, you don't think this guy's selling $3 million homes, right? It just doesn't, you don't come across, it doesn't come across that way to me at least, I don't know. So I know there's a lot of people in this audience out there thinking, I got to do something different, or I got to be something different to play in a different space. And I think one of the gifts of Corey is he shows up the way he is, no matter where he is. And I've always, in my journey, that's been a huge struggle as also a mixed kid who lived in different worlds and moved through different places. And we talked a little about this idea that sometimes the gift is the curse and the curse is the gift. And if you figure out how to turn your curse into a gift through living in your authentic space, it can unlock something. And you talked to me a little bit about how when you got comfortable being who you were, that's when the business took off. Can you tell us a little bit more about how authenticity played a role in your journey?
Yeah, I mean, so I sell $2.5, $3 million homes. Now I'm the owner of them. Think about that. I'm the owner. So when the agents do those showings and they're like, hey, we got this PA, can you go talk to the owner? I'm like, yeah, just a minute. Hey, what's up? And they're like, wait a minute. Oh, you the owner? You own that? And then they say, hey, do you live there? I'm like, nah, I don't live there. And then you can just see it's like, what's going on? Oh, that was just an investment. Because you know what? We're talking about the color of money, right? And at the end of the day, if you are your authentic self and you show up who you are, no matter what it is in this world, there's one thing that'll get you in the door. There's one thing, green. Green will get you in the door anywhere. So even though I show up the way I'm looking, I think I'm looking good out here, by the way, so come on, man. Sure, I know when I show up, I get the looks. But green gets through all of that. And if you can create wealth, if you can create money for people, I don't care if they're old, young, white, black, whatever it is, they will listen to what you have to say. But your stuff has to be right. You have to have something to bring to the table. You can't half-ass it. Your stuff has to be tight. If it's not, they will see right through that. So when I show up and they know I'm a bankable asset, they know when I show up, they are going to get money in their pocket. Shoot, come on in, Corey, let's go.
Corey had an interesting perspective that he said, hey, the higher up you go in life, the higher up you go in environments, the less people care about where you're from, what you look like, what happened. They care about what you can do for them to accomplish their goal. And so if you stay focused on that and you know that your true authentic self delivers that, you should be comfortable in any environment. So we're about to wrap up because Julia on me over here. I can see you. I got you, girl. So we want to end with just a couple actionable steps. So everyone's out here thinking, hey, it's some great knowledge. How do I go put it into practice? What would be your way to say to people, hey, these are the tips and tricks if you had a couple of things that people should go out there and do right away? What would you share with us?
First thing, you got to get a mentor or coach. You want to get into an investment game, you got to get a mentor or coach, man. You think about a football team or a basketball team. They have coaches who help set up like the kickers. They have coaches that are just there to help you lift weights. You have to find a mentor and a coach. That's the first thing. The second thing is, looking at this room, you can't be afraid to get 100 no's to get that one yes. You cannot be afraid to get that 100 no's to get that one yes. When I told you I had a 400 credit score, 7 foreclosures, bankruptcy, do you know how many no's I got from a bank? Every single day I was getting no's and I kept going. So don't be afraid to get those 100 no's to get that one yes. And then the last thing, the secret to real wealth building, this will be the last thing I say, PST. P stands for passive income. S, streams, multiple streams of those passive incomes. And then T, taxes. Figure out how to get tax strategies to reduce your liability on that money. So if you get passive income, multiple ones of passive income, and figure out how to pay the taxes, you will become wealthy.
All right, folks. Corey Wright. Thank you very much.
I thought that was a great interview. Did y'all like the interview? Yeah. There we go. So we gave our exotic brothers some extended time. But what we really want to happen is I'm gonna take a seat. I'm gonna move out of the way. And I'm gonna ask Gabby one question, because it is a daunting task to open up a market center, right? From zero. You've never been a market center owner. You've never been a team leader. You've only been an agent. And now you say, I'm going to open up a market center. And I'm going to open up a market center that's phenomenal. And I'm going to raise all kinds of sand in my space. And I said sand, I'm being nice. Now we can raise all kinds of hell in my space. And we're going to serve notice to let people know that we're real and we're serious about being in this space. And it's a lot of people that have an aspiration to open up a market center. A lot of people have aspiration to be a leader. So give us the answer to say why we should do it, why should we do it, and what does it take to do it? And I know I said one question. But
yeah, that was like 5. It was loaded. Hey everybody, thank you for welcoming us today, and what a pleasure it is being in rooms and spaces with people like this. It touches my heart. I grew up in Atlanta, born and raised, college. Seeing this is normal for me. And I also get that a lot of you all don't have that privilege. I like to start off with the story of how this all happened and why representation is so important. Growing up in Atlanta, I tell everybody, my granddad, I grew up with millionaire grandparents, both ministers. My grandfather was the president of the NAACP for 20 years, had the largest church in Atlanta, still does. When you talk about owning assets, when I was starting my brokerage and trying to figure out how we can be profitable and compete with these major brokerages, we had a small space. And so I'm gonna tell you a few stories as I tell our story. For one, your problems, don't listen to everybody else's problems. Those are their problems, not your problems, and don't ever accept them as your problems. When we started, I went and spoke to all the OPs. There are 62 market centers in the metro Atlanta area. 62. Y'all know how many owners are in the metro Atlanta area? 4. Coming in, I was like, oh, so I'm by myself. They didn't want us. We were an untapped market in Atlanta. No black owners, nothing. And so I came from Compass. I was at Keller Williams for 7 years. And I'll be honest, after the response to George Floyd, I left. I went to another company. We probably left, and probably about 30, 40 agents left with us. And it was hard. Mike Ray told me, Gabby, that's gonna be the biggest mistake of your life, and it was no culture. And Keisha sat me down, and she was like, Gabby, I'm gonna start a market center. I never even heard of ownership in Keller Williams. Like, we didn't see our owners, we didn't know what it was. I saw Emmerich here, I probably didn't even understand what his role was. And Keisha said, we're gonna start a market center. I was like, okay, Keisha, I'll come back for you. My grandfather, again, president of the NAACP, he sat me down, he said, baby girl, you have to do this. Be a part of your community, support your agents. I'm a top performing agent, high GCI. I'm like, I do not want to go back and take a hit to my income. Ended up coming back. 2 weeks after I came back, Lakeisha sits me down again and she's like, can you be OP? I'm like, what is that? And what does that mean? She's like, you're gonna take over this whole market center. Y'all, at the time, I'm 30 years old. Getting married, me and my husband are trying to have a baby. I'm like, Keisha, this is too much. Next thing I know, we recruited the first team. And I said, oh, it's a need for us here. And when I talk about don't say your problems are the world problems, just going back into that, we had everything that we needed right in our community. When I needed to host Bold, we had the smallest office because people told me market centers are not growing. Don't go get a big space. Vashay was our Bold coach. Guess what my grandfather's church said? We got 20 acres. Come host Bold over here. Guess how much they charge me? Guess where we host Red Day? Community and representation is everything. When I started my market center, guess who I called first? You talk about Denzel Washington training day? I was petrified. He said, you want me to tell you the right way or what I do? I was like, oh, Lord. But representation matters for us. A lot of times, yes, it's great to go into rooms of people that don't look like us, but we have a lot of answers too. We have great spheres as well. I went right on up there to Emmerich. Emmerich told me all 3 issues I was gonna have with my market center and what 3 things were gonna thrive in my market center. And when I tell you he hit the nail on the head, he looked at me, he said, watch them receivables, baby girl. Am I lying, Emmerich? Emmerich said, watch the receivables, have things in line to make sure that you're profitable. He was able to talk to me in a language that other people weren't able to. And so make sure that as you're doing that, you're also not discounting the people around you in your community. Then we talk about our agents. They tell my story better than anybody can. West Atlanta, can y'all stand up? We know it's a lot going on politically, and it's words we can and can't say. But to say a 98% Black market center is the fastest growing real estate brokerage in Keller Williams International. You don't have to get a TED Talk for that. We made a statement, and so it's the support. I can't tell you all, when I say community, how many times I've called Julia Lachey, like, Julia, it's hard. Julia, can you send me to an attorney? Can you help me just listen to me cry today? People see us walk on stage, they don't know the story of being a first Black-owned market center in a region where everybody owns the other market centers. And so I'm grateful for that.
Thank you.
I think that was like my introduction.
That was an introduction. And we do, again, my exotic brothers took up all our time, so.
If I want to leave them with anything,
There we go.
community matters. Representation matters. Not only are we the top market center, I also have the top team leader. We know how we operate, and I'll be honest, a lot of times our people are harder on us than anybody else. Why Emmerich look at Julia? Okay.
I didn't say nothing.
And with that being said, people expect us to act a certain way, right? We have to elevate. We have to be better. At 18, I was leading large-scale companies, Fortune 500 companies. And I was like, what can I do to translate that skill into running a large-scale brokerage? And so representation matters, community matters. Meet somebody next to you, figure out how to pour into them. Don't discount the people in this room. Pour into each other.
You know what? I like that. And that's the reason why we're in this room. We're in this room to show the value of being in this room. We're in this room to make sure that no matter where you are, no matter what your thoughts are, there's somebody in this room that you can connect with and get to where you want to go. And that's the beauty of being in this room. So Gabby, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And it means something special to me because 20 years later, it's like the reincarnation of KWPP. And it really is, because we did some of this, and I'm not taking the shine away. We did some of the things that you were doing right now, and just to see this happen at West Atlanta is so empowering, because this is a different group. This is a different generation of people than when we were doing it, because nobody put us anywhere. We were doing it, nobody even knew we were doing it because we didn't have this platform. When Bo was doing it, there was no platform. And so now we have a platform, and as I've always said, if they don't give us a seat at the table, let's go make our own table. And that's the reason why we're here right now. Thank you so much, Gabby.
Thank you.
This podcast is for general informational purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions of the guest represent those of the guest and not KWRI and its affiliates, and should not be construed as financial, economic, legal, tax, or other advice. This podcast is provided without any warranty or guarantee of its accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or results from using the information.